Hi there, I thought today we would talk about the Marvel Darth Vader Omnibus from Charles Soule. This omnibus collects the first 25 issues of the Charles Soule Darth Vader run, including the number 2 annual as well. It is a really good read for people who like Star Wars and like the more action-packed side of things. That's not to say it doesn't delve into elements that you'll be interested in otherwise, such as the Force and that, but this is a much more cinematic quality to it. There's great stories about how Darth Vader's lightsaber is created and how it is read. You see more of the Inquisitors in this, and you get a little bit of information on them, let's say, not a full backstory, but get information on them, and you see Darth Vader trying to commune with the Force and trying to find a way to bring Padme back. Just to put this in context before we start with a flip through, it commences immediately from the end of episode 3. So as soon as Darth Vader steps off that surgery table, this begins. So look, let's have a look at the book. We'll talk about pricing and availability after we've done the flip through. Okay then, so we've got the Star Wars Darth Vader Omnibus from Charles Soule and Giuseppe Camuncoli. There is the dust jacket there. You've got this nice sort of homage art on the back to the artwork from the posters of the original Star Wars film series, and then on the main cover of the book you have this nice picture of Vader in front of the Emperor. Now I'm going to try and breeze through these stories because I don't want to ruin them, because they're fast reads and they're very enjoyable, and I think as the matters develop they get some nice little reveals and character developments that I don't really need to go into here and spoil your enjoyment of the book. But it picks up immediately at the end of episode 3, where Vader has done his... He's come off his medical bay. The Emperor quickly gets him in order and sets him on a mission to mop up the remaining Jedi from Order 66. He also needs a lightsaber. Now this takes him to a planet where there is a Jedi. You see him there meditating. Vader tries to take him on without a weapon and loses the first round. He's left battered and injured at the bottom of a very large dam where the Jedi is based, but he secures a weapon from a droid and comes back for round 2 with the Jedi, which he promptly wins. This leads you to the new canon of the Star Wars universe, where previously Sith red lightsaber blade was from a synthetic kyber crystal, and now it is from a normal kyber crystal that he has corrupted through his hate and anger and the dark side, turning it red, or as the Emperor would say, making it bleed. I think that's a nice little twist, and I really liked it. There he is presenting his new weapon to the Emperor. You then get a story where Vader is with the Inquisitors, who are Jedi that have turned to the dark side, but they aren't full Sith Lords. They're sort of his subordinates, and they are hunting down a librarian who, there she is, who looks after the Jedi archives, because they want details on all of the Force sensitive children in the galaxy so they can either kill them or corrupt them. You will have to read the book to find out whether or not they succeed in that, but then you get this nice foreshadowing of the last story in the book, where you have Vader meditating and communing with the Force. He's in his meditative state with his lightsaber hovering in front of him, but you can see from the diagram that where his body has been replaced, he hasn't got the Force flowing through it because it's not alive, which I think's quite nice. And that this whole thing comes back to us later, and I like the way you can still see that there's some hope in him with the little butterflies. Representing sort of goodness. Okay, let's move on past all of this. You get some nice background on Grand Moff Tarkin in this as well. You see him in a story called Bad Ground, where he is hunting Vader, and you'll find out why and how that turns out by reading the story, because it's not a long story, but it is a fun one. It's interesting. There's like a little break from the main narrative. You also get this story about Admiral Akbar's planet and how it gets taken from his people, and you see Akbar and some ships representing the last of his planet Escape. These ships are ones that you will recognise as part of the Rebel fleet from the original movies. There they are. There. I think that's a nice way again to sort of try and tie these things together with a bit of exposition that isn't necessarily needed, but it's enjoyable to read and fun because there's some political manoeuvrings in it. You see again more interactions with the Inquisitors, Moff Tarkin working his magic on the situation, and how he rubs it the wrong way with Vader. It is a fantastic book, really enjoyable, really good read. It adds to the Star Wars lore. I mean, you see here that where people with the good side of the Force can come back as Force ghosts, the dark side, they sort of possess items. So this is about a Sith Lord who has possessed a helmet, and whoever wears it, he kind of channels his consciousness through them. And that leads to a whole story arc about Vader building a fortress in conjunction with this Sith Lord to find a way to better communicate with the dark side of the Force and try and get Padme back. Whether that works, again, I'll have to see, but it's an interesting story. I thought it was going to be a slog when it started, but it really wasn't. It was an enjoyable arc to read. And there you are. Look, you get a little end story with a glimpse of the Death Star, and then you just get some little fun stories from the annual at the end. As far as extras go, you get these alternate covers, but not too much else, to be honest. There's some nice imagery in there. That's a nice picture. Okay, right then. So that was the book. I say a fantastic read, a quick read, great art. I like it because it's nice and clear but still expressive. I don't like it when it goes too far towards the expressive side of things. Just doesn't gel with me. The stories in it are great. I love the whole having to make the kyber crystal bleed. It just adds a little bit of fun to it, rather than them just being sort of coloured ones you pick, and you pick the red one because it's evil looking. Or that, no, sorry, that's not what it was. The red one is picked, sorry, because it was a synthetic kyber crystal, which never made much sense, because you think, well, why wouldn't this just get a kyber crystal and use it? But anyway, that's just something I found particularly interesting. I like the way that they try and get around the Force ghosts by having, for the dark side, they possess objects rather than just being one with the Force, and that was quite a clever idea as well. But it's just a great story, and I also like the use of the Inquisitors and how they are sort of substandard to a full Sith Lord, but they've still got their powers. And it also fills in that gap of, well, why is it just Jedis and the Sith that can use the Force? Other people must still have some level of ability, and I just really like that because they're sort of broken Jedis. For the price of it, it's good value at the moment. I would say it's probably only going to go up in price because Marvel don't seem very keen on reprinting these books, so I say grab it while you can for a good price. I wouldn't pay over the odds for it. I'll show what it's going for right now at the time of doing this video, but obviously, as ever with omnibuses, I always say you've got to monitor your prices and strike when you are satisfied it is the right price for you to pay. I'm tight, so I'll wait if I have to, and I won't get a book on first day of release, only because I see that saving of, say, 10, 15, 20 pounds on a book going halfway towards the next one. Please feel free to give us a thumbs up if you got something positive from this video or it helped you out on a buying decision, and thanks for watching.